Hey, what up? This your boy Ricky Smiley. Talking to you about everything that's going on now. You have right after the incident in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You have another, man getting murdered by the police in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I believe he was unarmed. I believe that witness that came forward and said this.
Gonna say what I believe, and it's a cover up. They made a mistake and they're doing their best to make sure they cover up that mistake. That's what's happening.
Do you agree that the officer they mentioned is the same one that we saw yesterday?
No, man, it was not a black officer that killed him. It was a white officer that killed him. He was bald headed. The black officer came on the scene maybe 10, 15 minutes later, and he was the one doing the CPR on him. Now, I'm not saying, by that time, I'm pretty sure the man was already gone because he didn't die at the hospital at 4 o'clock. He died out here at 2:30.
You actually saw the shooting?
I actually saw the shooting. I saw the shooting and I saw that man die. I saw him take his last breath. I saw him move, and then that was not, he didn't move no more after that.
Had he gotten out of the car with a gun?
No, sir. He got out of the car with a book.
And you saw the book?
I saw the book.
Can you
Now, I can't
describe-
tell you what the name of the book
I
was,
understand.
but it was a black cover.
And so he got out and he was holding it?
No, it was on his lap. He got out, his hands was up. He got out his car, he got out the car, I'm pretty sure he just opened up the door and stepped out his truck, because it's a truck. So he know how to do all that too when you get out of the car.
And you said this earlier, but I want to make sure I get it exactly right. To the best of your memory, what are the exact words that Mr. Scott said to the officer?
He said, what is the problem? What did I do? What's wrong? And while he's saying that, because they're telling him to come to them. So he's walking to the back of his truck. And he's asking him, what's the problem? What did I do? And then stepping over the book and everything. Because the book done fell off his lap by this time. He's like, what did I do? What's the problem? And when he get back there, the police muffled something because I can't hear. And then next thing you know, they shoot that man 4 times.
See what I'm saying? Now, she saw the whole thing, but of course they're going to go in her history and try to discredit her and say that she's a crackhead and she didn't pay her traffic ticket and try to discredit her and make her seem like she messed up. And it's just bad. And where was Trent Dilfer when all of this happened? Trent Dilfer, Shaquille O'Neal, Ray Lewis, Jerry Rice, and I'm not, because Shaq and Ray Lewis are frat brothers, and I love them to death, but I just totally disagree with their outlook on the whole situation about the United States flag, and the Pledge of Allegiance. Why should we stand up to a flag? So you don't get to make a decision as to how we protest. People protest how they protest. That's like you having an argument, but you can't tell somebody what not to say. If you're having a fight, you can't tell nobody how hard to hit. And when the majority of black people feel like that flag does not represent us and that there's a real systematic injustice that's going on in this country to the fact that other countries are making the same comments. They see it. How is it that a man that allegedly, probably planted 2 bombs that could have killed people in New York get apprehended without being murdered? How does a white dude get taken to Burger King and apprehended after shooting 9 black people worshiping in church? But a man sitting up there waiting for his daughter to come out of school, a stranded motorist, car broke down in the middle of the street, and you would think if your car broke down in the middle of the street that you would probably get hit by a car. But instead of getting hit by a car, you get murdered by the police. Jumping on people. Look at the incident in Providence, Rhode Island. They ain't just doing it to black people, they do it to white people too. How the police grabbed that white lady by her hair and dragged her down the steps. Providence, Rhode Island police. All of it is on my Facebook page. Police brutality, period. It ain't just racism, sexism. Sexism. Somebody said it best. Or whatever. You get mad at Colin Kaepernick, but you ain't mad at none of the animals in NFL that done rape women. You ain't mad at them. You protesting Colin Kaepernick, but you ain't protesting none of these athletes that have raped women and sexually assaulted women and did stuff. Just like that lady said, she called them, the men, that's mad about this but not mad about that, she called them a bunch of bitches. Real talk. And that's what she called them. I saw that post on Facebook and on Instagram. And it's just, it's terrible. You know, we have to continue to be resilient. We have to continue to take a stand or whatever. You're not going to manipulate the situation and talk about black on black crime because it's white on white crime too, or whatever. But I have to say, and I have to go on record saying, the media is racist to the core. And if anybody out there that don't understand and won't stand with us, you know what's going on. You see that black people are being mistreated and being targeted by the police. If you're a good police officer and you're not standing with us and speaking out, then you're part of the problem. You're just as guilty as the one that pulled the trigger. If you white or whatever and you sympathetic to our cause and you see that it's wrong or whatever, then why aren't you marching with us? Why aren't you protesting with us? Why aren't you speaking up? See, I walk outside of a store and I see a man on top of a woman raping her, and I said, that's a shame. That man raping that woman. Well, let me go on and bake a cake and go on about my day. And you saw wrongdoing, but you didn't do anything about it. You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. And that's what's wrong right now. That's what's wrong. Because if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. We're asking everybody to stand with us. All of the people in Charlotte, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Native American, whatever you are, whatever your race, whatever your background is, if you see wrongdoing, stand. It wasn't just black people that marched in the civil rights movement. White people came down from New York and Rhode Island and New Hampshire and Connecticut. They all came down and didn't have a dog in this race and took a stand. Some of them gave their lives and died. It's a shame. All of this stuff is a referendum on Barack Obama being president of the United States. You heard him say it, we want our country back. So if you can't kill Barack Obama, they'll kill any black person they can see. Any black person, and he protesting about the same thing. You cry, well, how you gonna cry when Muhammad Ali died and pay homage to Muhammad Ali? You pay homage to Muhammad Ali or whatever, Colin Kaepernick is standing up for the same thing. Shout out to Eric Reed that kneeled beside him. I have a whole lot of respect. I always been an Eric Reed fan. One of the best defensive backs to ever play football at LSU. Absolutely love that kid. The way they shot Philando Castile and Alton Sterling and people selling CDs and selling loose cigarettes ain't bothering nobody, ain't committing no crime. But then if you white and commit a crime or whatever, you get apprehended. It's bad. Bad the way black people get treated in this country. I'm not going to blame this on none of this stuff, on black, nothing. That is not even part of the conversation. Everybody got problems in their community. So you ain't going to take that and manipulate it. Wrong is wrong. We deal with our own issues in our own community. We got all kind of programs out here trying to reduce violence in our community. But you can't take that and make that a part of this conversation. Because what does black on black crime got to do with a white man shooting down an unarmed black? And what does that have to do? What does one have to do with the other? See, that's manipulative. Police ain't going to jail. They ain't arresting nobody. None of that stuff or whatever. And it's just racist to the core. All of them racist. I said it. I don't care if you don't like it. I said it and I meant it.
It's the Ricky Smiley Morning Show.
Yeah, man. Praise the Lord.